Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concordia University's Fourth Space. Thank you for joining us for today's event, Celebrating Black HerStory, Modern Day Excellence. We would like to begin by acknowledging that Concordia University, Fourth Space, is located on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. Here at Fourth Space, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge by co-creating daily activities that examine research questions and projects in development across the university. We are running today's event as a live stream to YouTube and a Zoom meeting. For those of you on Zoom, we welcome your comments and questions via the chat. For those of you in the space, if you have any comments or questions, if you'd like to participate, just let us know by raising a hand. We'll bring this microphone to you. I would like to introduce Jade Parkinson-Moiseau. Jade is a special care counselor specializing in mental health work with families and individuals from a community-based clinical lens. She has been working with youth and families for over 10 years and is dedicated to empowerment and social change for marginalized communities. She is also the secretary of Black Girl Magic Canada. Please welcome Jade Parkinson-Moiseau.
Amazing. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us here today. I will be super brief because I'm inviting a very special person to do a welcome for us this afternoon, Nina Segalowitz. Nina is an Inuvialuit and Diné from Fort Smith, Northwest Territories. She is a proud mother of 3 and grandmother of 2. A 60s Scoop survivor, Nina graduated from Concordia University with a bachelor's degree in applied human sciences, a depth in accounting, and a depth in social work. She has dedicated the last 30 years to working with the Montreal Indigenous community, especially with victims of violence, and is currently a cultural consultant for the Canadian Armed Forces, the Montreal Police Force, as well as many universities and schools. Nina is a multi-talented artist, an accomplished throat singer, hand drummer, and cellist. Nina has performed all over the world, including recently an impromptu performance with musician Bobby McFerrin. She is presently the Administrative Services Manager at Kavivik Inuit Family and Community Health Center. Nina sits on the board of directors for the Legacy of Hope Foundation. Lastly, she is an artistic co-director for the musical ensemble Oktocho. Please welcome Nina.
Thank you so much for a beautiful welcoming and introduction. I don't want to mess up the decor. I'm like, okay, I'll just hold my drum. Okay. It's an honor to be here in this circle of incredible women that are going to be speaking and to open the space. It's really important, traditionally, when we gather with each other in community, I've always seen it as ceremony because we get to take a moment for ourselves. We get a moment to see each other, reconnect with each other, catch up with each other. And today we get to learn from each other and we get to listen to each other about each other's journeys, what we've been through, what we're doing in our life, what we're standing for. International Women's Day is coming up. As women in our community, we're considered extremely sacred because we're the life givers. When you're born with already the next generation. You hold the next generation already. And as women, we're the ones who are protectors of the land, protectors of the water. We hold the medicine, we share the medicine, we teach the medicine. And the men have their role too. But somewhere along the way, because of colonization, because of intergenerational trauma, not only in our community, but in many communities, that alignment became misaligned. So for me to be here today in a safe space with beautiful, strong women that I know have a lot to say, have important things to say, is an honor. We're always fighting to find our own voice, you know, and to be gifted and offered and celebrated in a space where we only get to talk and we only get to be listened and not judged, is an incredibly safe place. I feel very safe right now. I feel very included and loved. So I hope that you experience that today too, you know. And there was a little talk about wearing something that reminds you of relations. We always carry them with us. Each and every one of us come from relations. Their decisions brought us right here into this room today. And they're with us all the time. That's what I truly believe, and that's what I'm taught. And even though we don't see them, even though we don't get to talk to them, we are them. We are them. So in honor of today and the speakers and the space and the territory that we stand on, for the water that sustains our life, for the food that we have to sustain our bodies, for the love, for the support, for the incredible resilience that each of us have to bring us here today, I want to honor you all with a song. It's called the Denny Healing Song. And I sing this song for different reasons. Sometimes we sing it in ceremony, sometimes we sing it for loss. But I think today it's about celebration and finding our own voices and being able to breathe, give ourselves grace, and trust that your word is enough, that what you have to share is enough, that what you have to share is worthy, and what you have to share is needed even more than that. So this is to honor all of our ancestors, both women and men, our elders, our young ones, our babies, the ones yet to be born, and that we meet again sometime soon and watch over us as we travel. have a wonderful gathering. Nakohme, masicho, nyawago, miigwech. Merci.
Thank you very much, Nina, for that wonderful welcome and the special gift we received of your singing and drumming. We really appreciate that you would share that with us. So on behalf of Black Girl Magic Canada, Barbados House, Concordia's Black Perspectives Office, we are super excited to get started for our International Women's Day event today around modern excellence. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge everyone who's been here with us so far, as well as any special guests in the room. We thank you for taking the time to be here with us. I noticed Mr. Aaron Stanford, thank you, and your company for being here with us this afternoon. Now, without further ado, I have the great privilege of introducing a phenomenal woman, someone that I would say I look up to as a mental health practitioner in Montreal. And I'm going to share a little bit about a very special person before we begin. Beside me, you have the beautiful and talented Tamara Angeline Medford-Williams. Tamara is the Director of Black Community Initiatives at Dawn Canada and a dedicated, trust me, I've seen it myself, a dedicated social justice advocate. Above all, she is a daughter, a friend, and a compassionate helper who is called to support others in transforming their pain into strength. Drawing on her Caribbean heritage and lived experience, she works to empower marginalized communities and their members. Tamara is a registered clinical social worker in Quebec and Ontario, working with young mothers in rehabilitative care, families, and schools. She is also a part-time faculty member in applied human sciences at Concordia University and a radio host on CKUT. She holds a bachelor's in human relations, a graduate degree in youth work, a master of social work, and a certificate in family life education. Tamara has contributed to reports supported to the United Nations for the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, as well as parliamentary briefs and appearances before the Senate on issues impacting the mental health of Black and Indigenous women and girls with disabilities. If that's not enough, she has also published articles in the Relational Child and Youth Care Journal and has been featured in interviews and highlight pieces across community, academic, and local news outlets. Nominated as one of CBC Quebec's Black Changemakers 2024 and the Black History Month spokesperson of 2026, Tamara is recognized as a servant leader committed to uplifting her community and fostering meaningful change. Let's put our hands together for Tamara.
I need you to read do my introduction everywhere I go.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you to Black Girl Magic for having me. It's really an honor. Shout out to Jade. Jade and I go way back, but you know what? When you're a community advocate, it speaks volumes and you automatically get connected to your community. So I'm cognizant of the time, and I just want to do my introduction now for the first speaker. So it's really my honor to introduce our first panelist today, Ms. Maudeleine Myrthil, a trailblazer in the world of entrepreneurship and a passionate advocate for empowering diverse communities. So Ms. Myrthil is CEO of Group 3737, a transformative organization that has become a cornerstone for entrepreneurship and innovation in Canada, with a master's in business administration for executives from the Université du Québec à Montréal, and a bachelor's in management from the Haute École Commerciale. Ms. Myrthil has built a career focused on helping entrepreneurs turn their passions into sustainable business. Recognized as one of the 100 women who changed the world by Femessor, congrats! Ms. Myrthil is a visionary leader who has shared her expertise on a global scale, contributing to Canada's economic growth and championing diversity in business. Her work has earned her a place on the federal government's expert committee to increase the number of women entrepreneurs, and she serves as a board member of the Association des MBA au Québec. Under the leadership, Groupe 3737 has become a beacon of hope and opportunity for entrepreneurs alike, particularly from marginalized communities. Today, Ms. Myrthil will share her journey, her insights on redefining professionalism, and her vision for the future of entrepreneurship for Black women in Canada. Please join me as we welcome Myrthil. Yay! Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you, Black Girl Magic Canada, for hosting that wonderful event. Very, very pleased to be with you guys today.
And before we begin, I just want to let everybody know, feel free to raise your hand whenever a topic is being discussed, or if you have anything that you'd like to contribute, and someone will pass you a mic so you could be a part of the conversation as well. Okay, first off, congrats.
Thank you.
Can you first share a little bit about your journey, right, into entrepreneurship, and what kind of motivated you to take on this trajectory?
That's a very good question. At first, I wasn't an entrepreneur. Like, my friends were entrepreneurs, and I went, why? Why do you want to go through that battle? Why do you want to go through a lot of uncertainty? So I wasn't called to be an entrepreneur. So usually people say, oh, you're born to be an entrepreneur. Yes, some of them, but you can also become an entrepreneur. And my journey was, as you mentioned, I did the studies.
Yeah.
I'm Haitian, so you know that when you're Haitian or Caribbean, when you're from a diverse background, usually you have to go to university, and usually you have to do the studies. So it's either you're an accountant, no, not even accountant. That's not, there's like 5 professions that parents want you to do. You're either a doctor, you're an engineer, you can be a teacher, a lawyer, and there's another one. As she mentioned, I decided to go to business. It wasn't the right. And on top of that, I didn't do like my eldest sister, who is an accountant. Me, I decided to go to marketing at first. So my mom was like, oh my God, she's gonna stay in the basement forever. She called my aunts and things like that. Now looking forward, she's like, oh, you did well for yourself. But at first, it wasn't that. So I was working at big corporate businesses, so I was able to, grow in the businesses where I worked, but something happened. You know that glass ceiling? So when it was time to take the pictures, the corporate pictures, Maudeleine, can you come? When it was time to do the video, Maudeleine, can you come? Yeah. You speak so well. You look so good. You smile a lot. That's good for us. Yeah. But when it was time to have a strategic role in the company, So I was always the top 3, but never the last one, the one that they choose. So at a certain point, I was more educated than my peers. Even one of my managers, she was like, I don't feel good, doing your review, because you have more an academic background that is stronger than me. So I feel that you should be the one coaching me. And I was like, no, Natalie, it's okay. We're all there to grow and to learn. And it's true, though. Yeah. Humility is very important. Yeah. You can always learn something. But it was beginning to feel uncomfortable. And that's when I received the call from Franz Saint-Elmy. If you don't know Franz Saint-Elmy, I recommend that you Google that name, because he is awesome. Franz Saint-Elmy, he's the co-founder with his wife of Groupe 3737, where I currently work. And he was like, Mo, because everybody calls me Mo. And he was like, I have an idea of a business, and I think that you should be great and that you would thrive and things like that. And I was like, I said yes. And I decided to jump. I jumped, but I didn't have the parachute, meaning that I didn't have my business plan, I didn't have my financial forecast, I didn't have anything. I had a great idea, and I was with the concept, when they say, build it and they will come.
And it will come, yeah.
Nah. Thinking back, yes, they will come, but you need to have a plan. So that was it. Friends called, I decided to jump. And on top of that, we created Group 3737. So it's him and his wife that decided to put their money. So it's 15 millions that him and his wife invested in Group 3737 in Saint-Michel, which is at a time it was one of the poorest neighborhood in Canada. And he was, because he's from Saint-Michel. Yeah. It was like, you know what? I'm going to give back some power to my community. And I'm going to transform that place that used to be a manufacturer where his mom used to come every morning to work in order to take care of his 13 brothers and sisters. So when he saw the opportunity to buy some levels of that building, he decided with his wife to invest to create that place where entrepreneurs would come to create an economic impact that would automatically have a social impact. Yeah. So that's when Group 3727 was born, and a couple of entrepreneurs like myself were all volunteer. And that's something that is very important. Serve. Yeah. It's important to serve. Be a volunteer. Yeah. Now, you have to do something that you believe in. It's really important. But it's important also to give back. Mm-hmm. And when we say give back, don't necessarily give back with, oh, okay, so I'm giving back to this organization, so next time they have a position, they're going to think about me. Yeah. It's not in that sense.
Don't give with expecting something in return.
That's it. Yeah. Just give freely. My family thought I was completely crazy. My mom called, again, my aunts. She was like, it's going to be tough and this and that. Now look at Group 3727.
Exactly.
We are coast to coast, offices in Edmonton, Calgary, Halifax, Moncton, Toronto, and in Quebec, we are in Sherbrooke, Gatineau, Laval, Quebec. So we've done good with the investment that France and Vicky did in the community because they believed. So now we have that place for entrepreneurs. And when I started my business, I made a bunch of mistakes. So it's the mistakes that I made that gave us the possibility to insert and create programs. Yeah. So we started with the Business Launch program to help entrepreneurs do what I didn't do, the business plan and the financial forecast. And we have grown the organization that way with the needs that we saw that the community had, that entrepreneurs had, and that's how we decided to grow the organization. Awesome. And that's how I started. I was a volunteer, and now I'm the CEO.
Exactly. Props to that, okay? Talk about trajectory. I had all these prep questions, but let me just go into this. One thing you mentioned about is being in other workspaces that didn't really see your value, right? I don't know about anybody in this room, but this is something that I have experienced myself and that Black women oftentimes continue to experience. Mm-hmm. And one thing that you mentioned is that even though you knew that you were more qualified, you had to humble yourself. Yeah. I want to know at what expense? Because oftentimes there's not women who get the second chance or third chance to have someone who sees their value and pour into them. Yeah. So how did those early on experiences shape you in terms of being a leader, in a Black woman in spaces that you have to navigate with people who don't always look like you, especially in business and entrepreneurship?
That's, again, very great question. One thing that I didn't mention, I'm a mother now.
Okay.
So my kids, I'm blessed to have two girls. They're not gonna live what I've lived, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And that's one thing. The thing is that, sometimes you take stuff because you just don't know. You think that it's normal. It's when you reflect back that you're like, but why? Yeah. Why do I have to do more? And that, again, it's an heritage that we have. I remember my father, when I was little, he was like, Maudeleine, you have to do more. Maudeleine, you have to be, if the rest of the class has an average of 80, you need to have 90. Yeah. if they do this, you have to do that. You always have to dress well. You have to always have to do this and to do that. So the expectation was, they were always high. And it's okay. And again, I'm not against having high standards. It's just that at a certain point, you cannot shrink yourself to the value of what people perceive as your value.
One more time for the people in the back, please.
You cannot shrink your value to the perception of others. You cannot do that because you're going to shrink yourself, and afterwards it's going to be very, very difficult for you to grow out of it. So if they don't see your value, that's it.
I heard that. That's their
if
problem,
they
right?
don't like what they see,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the, I would say, that's how now when I navigate, for instance, last week, I was on the table of honor of Le Cercle Canadien, and the same week of the Chamber of Commerce of Montreal. On the table with the Chamber of Commerce, Fabienne Collat was there. So I had a sister. I was like, yes, I'm not alone. But usually I'm alone. But what do? When I'm alone, stand tall, take the picture, and I don't go in the back to take the picture. No. I'm sitting right there.
Yeah.
You're gonna see me. You don't have it, and you're gonna remember me. That's the thing. We're visible.
Yeah.
We are visible. So let us be proud of being visible, because it's important. And at the same time, we have that responsibility to help another one also. So when I go on a board, I have the responsibility to help another sister or another brother to be in that board. I don't want to be the only one, because that too, it's a mentality that we had before that, oh, I'm the only one. I'm really sick of being the only one. We're not supposed to be the only one. And it's not okay to be the only one. Okay, when you look at the stats, it's not normal.
No.
So we have to be everywhere. Now, in order to be everywhere, when you're somewhere and you look and you see that nobody looks like you, you have the responsibility next time that you go to the same activity to bring somebody. You see, now with the Chamber of Commerce of Montreal, we always have a table for our entrepreneurs that are from diverse backgrounds. But even though we have a table, sometimes the entrepreneur is like, but Maudeleine, I'm not comfortable. Be uncomfortable. That's how you grow. If you're too comfortable, it means that you're not growing, because you are in that safe space and everybody looks alike, everybody talks a lot. No, you have to be uncomfortable to grow. So you have to be in. And another thing, you need to have allies. Allies that don't look like you. But usually those allies, they have they can open doors for you. So that too, it's very important.
Thank you. You know, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, yes. Okay, Mo.
Thank you, Tom.
So the other question that really comes to mind is when you talked about, being visible. We're already visible because of our skin color, and that sometimes puts us at a disadvantage, right? But also I'm hearing a lot about the pressures of family. And we know as Caribbean folks, our family tends to put a lot of pressures on us in terms of what a professional should look like, what we should study, how we show up in these spaces. And what I'm hearing from you is you want to be authentically you, right? And how do you balance being authentically you as a Black business entrepreneur, advocate, and, in the spaces that you are, but at the same time, balancing the need to express your cultural identity and still be accepted in these spaces?
Again, a very good
Everything
question.
I'm dealing with right now, y'all, I'm sorry. It's real life.
and it's important to know. You see, I wear a lot of hats. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm the daughter of, because that too is important. I was, right before this event, I had to pass by my parents' house. So I'm the daughter of, and all of this is very important, because with those hats come responsibilities. Now people say that, you need to find like, equilibre, how do you say that?
Equilibrium.
A balance.
A balance,
Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, okay? What exists though, and what I try to do, it's have an harmony. Meaning that all pieces are gonna work together. Now, some pieces sometimes gonna be 70%, other pieces are gonna be at 100%. And I tell my kids, I always tell them, Mom is gonna be there when it's really important. And I'll give you a quick example. One of my daughters, she's graduating. We're graduating this year.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, we are, because this one, we are. I had to, every grade, we are.
Yeah.
So I had a trip to prepare. And I was like, if I miss that graduation, it's gonna be hell. So no, I'm not going to that trip, that's business trip. I'm going to the graduation, because that's my priority. So that's how I juggle. Don't think that you can be perfect. And especially Black women. We are, in Creole, we say potomitan, meaning that we keep the family.
Yeah.
But in order to keep something, you have to be strong. So before you take care of others, you need to take care of you. You need to have me time. Me, I always have my me time. Every week I have my me time. Everybody knows. So, and my me time is really my me time. And you know, when I started to have my me time, it's when my kids were little. And I knew they were out. And I remember that time. I was taking a shower and I kept on turning off because I heard mommy. Nobody was in the house. But it was because I was so used to hear that's it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but they have a father. So how come it's always, But
I know that resonates with a lot of other mothers in the room,
but
right?
It wasn't his fault. I didn't give him the space.
Yeah.
I didn't give him the space. Now, what do you think I do now?
Now you give him the space so you can get your space.
That's it. That's it. But it's another pressure that we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
So we need to unload that load, if I can say, because again, it's us that we're the one carrying it, but we're the one who are putting it on our shoulders. So we need to unload and see what are the priorities in order to be able to have that harmony. And please be gentle on yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if everything is not at 100%. It's okay. I remember before my kids, you could eat on the floor. Now, I'm not saying that my house it's not that. It's just that before I used to clean with soap, with then vinegar and all that, like 4 steps just to clean the floor. Now it's just 1 step.
Yeah.
2 steps at the best.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because it's okay. And I'm okay with it. I've made my peace with it. So be gentle with yourself, because we're gentle with everybody. We take care of everybody.
Facts.
But who's going to take care of us?
Facts. And for people who are in care work, I know that's something that we hear a lot about self-care, but it's important to know, like what you said, like self-care looks different to different people.
Yeah.
Especially to Black women. We don't always get to take a bubble bath. Sometimes self-care is maybe connecting with our elders, with our seniors. It's maybe going to a bingo night with our grandparents, So I think it's also important to understand what it means to us so that we can recharge ourselves so we can continue to fill other people up.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So now I have just a quick question, more in regards to your role in business and what you do for other entrepreneurs. So, as vice president, what lessons have you learned while supporting entrepreneurs who might not always have the same characteristics, drive, humility as you? How are you able to pour into them so that they could walk on that trajectory as well?
I'm not going to say it's a good question, even though it is. It is. But one of the things that we have done and I have done, it's to show them that we care and that we believe. Because sometimes they have a great idea, but and women are the worst regarding that. You'll have somebody, let's say they want to open a bakery, a man and a woman. The man is just going to have an action plan, meaning 1 pager. He's going to say that it's going to generate $1 million. The woman, she's going to have a business plan that was made by Deloitte, and she's going to have a financial forecast and everything, and she's going to say that the first year she's going to generate 50 or something like that. The same bakery, but it's just the mindset. So we work a lot on the mindset. Now it's okay if you just want to be local, but it's okay also to be international. And that's what we have done in the past year. We've done mission trips. We went to Paris with entrepreneurs. We went to Senegal, Dakar. We went to London. We went to Ivory Coast. By the way, if there's people from Ivory Coast, they got me, okay? When I went to Abidjan, they got me. Aquaba, they had me. We went to Guinea-Conakry also. So what we've done is that we opened the market for them, and we have shown them, listen, yes, it is possible to be local, but it's possible to be international. It's possible to generate jobs. It's possible to generate value and economic value, and to still give back and to still be true to yourself. So that's how we help entrepreneurs grow. It's one entrepreneur at a time, that we care for them. We tell them that we believe in them, and usually it helps them grow.
Awesome. And I'm hearing a lot about dreaming big, right? But you know what, when you say that, you know, especially like with people who might be here or younger Black women who are just coming up, it's hard to dream big when you've only been in small environments. It's hard to dream big when you're constantly being told that you are lesser than. So what would you say for those people who feel like that, in order so that they could be motivated to get to the point that where you are?
I'm not there yet.
Well, to somebody, you are, okay?
You need to believe. You need to believe. And it's okay to think big. And don't listen to people. That's what, okay, your parents are right, usually. Okay, I'm not saying not to listen to your parents, sometimes. But the thing is that usually when somebody is going to tell you that, are you sure that it's their own things that they're putting in your face. So it's because they don't believe enough in themselves, so they say that you're not capable.
Yeah, they're projecting their insecurities.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't listen. Stop listening to people who have not achieved what you want to achieve in your life. You need to look up.
You got to repeat that one for those in the back. Yeah.
Stop listening to people who have not achieved what you want to achieve. You want to be a CEO of a successful company, talk to a CEO of a successful company.
I like that.
You want to be a billionaire, talk to a billionaire. And you'll see that those people, when you come to them, they will be open. They will be open to mentor, to give you advice and things like that. Don't listen to people who have a narrow mind. You need to think about the stars. Worst case scenario, you'll have the moon, but at least you'll have something more. But if you just think about the ceiling, where are you going? So think big, dream big. Don't let people kill your dream. One of my daughters, she keeps on saying she wants to go to Harvard. And at first I was like, okay, yeah. But she went to Boston with the school. She came back with the book. She came back with Harvard mom. I told my husband, something is going on. But the thing is that she's so convinced it will happen. I don't know how, but not now though. Not now, please. But it will happen because she believes in it so much that I'm sure that one way or another, she's gonna achieve that goal. So when you believe in something so much, and some people will say it's the law of attraction, I don't care what you think it is, but I do believe that when you believe and when you think about something and you have that strong conviction, you will achieve your dream. Don't let people kill your dream. It's very important. Think big.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yes. Awesome. I got way more questions for you, but I'm conscious of the time, okay? But is there anybody in the audience who has anything that they would like to add? If anything resonated with them, do they have any questions?
If there are any audience questions, raise your hand. I'm going to bring this microphone to you. A reminder to those online, you're invited to ask your questions too.
Don't be shy. Okay, yeah.
I think we're just all in this moment of a little bit struck because this is what we wanted to hear all along. So I think we're all soaking it in at this point. My question to you is, because I'm hearing everything that you're saying, and like I'm a teacher, I'm a business owner, but the confidence that you have, was it because you had the education to be able to successfully go where you're going? So for example, I teach students that are in vocational, and for them, it is after high school. So they might not go to university, they might go to college. But if you're trying to tell them about, you know what, start a business. So do you believe that it is the education that helped you, or is it because you truly believe this is where you should be as a business owner?
Thank you. Thank you for your question, and congrats for what you're doing. Yes. It's very important to take care of our youth, and if we don't, who's going to do it? We have a program for the youth, and we go to neighborhoods where others don't. We go to Quartier Montréal Nord, which is an underserved and marginalized neighborhood, to bring those dreams to those kids. So I would say it's not the education. And by the way, a mistake that we have made is to think that because you have a university, and sorry, I'm in Concordia, but I'm sorry.
Go there.
Yeah. But the thing is that there's a lot of plumbers that are doing well.
Yeah.
A lot of people in constructions.
Yes.
Do you know that there's the project, Alto project? Yeah. They need 50,000 workers. Yeah. This is going to be the next things. Now we are teaching the youth, go in constructions. For sure, you're going to have a job, and you can also create your company in that area. And I would say that some of them are going to make more money than lawyers, more money than accountants, because you grow your own business. So education, when we talk of education, there's the academic, but also I would say it's what you receive, the values that your parents will bring you, will give you. This is something that I'm very grateful for.
And your lived experience.
Oh, yes. Yeah. My parents, they say, they were always, Maudeleine, you can do anything that you put your mind into. And that's it. And I grew up with that. So when I have a crazy idea, my husband is like, are you sure? Yeah. Yes, because my name is Maudeleine Myrthil, and I can do anything. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And I march, and I believe, and people will follow. Sometimes I'm the worst person regarding direction. Like, for instance, here, I will lose myself just here. But people are always following me. And I'm like, don't follow me.
I saw you when you came in. You said, am I in the right spot?
You know, that's it. Because I have a lot of qualities, but not that. But I have that confidence. Yeah. So people follow me. Yeah. So when you're confident about your business idea, or when you're confident about what you should study in, you will succeed. Because people are attracted by confidence. So
yeah, and I think it resonates. Well, what she was saying too is that how do we get there, right? Because not all of us have been blessed to have families or parents that saw power in us, right? Sometimes it's a stranger. You know, if I think of my trajectory here at Concordia, it was an ally who did not look like me, right? But through experiences, through interacting with the world around you, your environments, being put in tough situations, having to learn to speak up or get held down, it kind of builds your character and builds your confidence. But for what she was saying, for those who do not have, what advice do you have to give that to support them to get there?
People have a lot of things to say about social media. Yeah. It's good, and it's bad at the same time. Yeah. But social media, what they have done, it's to open the world to a lot of things. So you could see before, when we wanted to see a successful person that looked like us, we had to look at the TV shows in the States. But now for teens, for kids, it is available online. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying to go but it's just that now the information, it's accessible. Yeah. So there's no excuse. Before, yes, it was difficult to have access to leaders, but now it is possible. Yeah. So instead of just scrolling Instagram listen to our podcast. Yeah. Read. Yeah. Read. That's one of the things. Again, the love of books. But it's not just books, it's knowledge. Knowledge is key. So when you read, you're able to get knowledge. And in order to succeed, you have to have more knowledge than others in order to distinguish yourself from others. So that's the advice that I would give. And again, we have a responsibility. We have to give back. We should all have somebody that we mentor, that we help, because somebody helped us to get here. So we have that responsibility also to help.
Awesome, thank you. Yay.
Maudeleine, I want to thank you so much for being here today. I have a question for you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you had an opportunity to speak to your 5-year-old self, what would you say?
You rock.
Rightfully so.
Yes, you rock. And by the way, before when I was little, I used to have huge glasses. Okay, I used glasses because I'm like almost legally blind. So I wasn't cute. And it's a good thing, I think, that I wasn't cute. Why? Because I had to invest in myself. Because I had a lot of friends, but I didn't have a lot of friends because I was the cute little, No, it's because I was funny, because I knew stuff. It's because when I talked to, I was able to.
Your personality.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I invested a lot in myself. So afterwards, I see now the value and what it brings back at the end. So I would say to myself, you rock.
Well, you rock now too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? Yeah.
Good afternoon. I have one question. I'm kind of like a starting entrepreneur. Started with Black Wall Street, Quebec, and now I'm with Le Marron, which is the Black-owned beer here in Quebec. What do you...
Yes, true.
What do you feel is a non-negotiable for an entrepreneur?
Financial literacy. You need to understand the numbers. You can have the best product, you can have a huge market, but if the math don't math, if it doesn't make sense, and if you don't understand them, it's really that you don't have to become an accountant. You just need to understand certain things. Because the thing is that your accountant can tell you, oh yes, everything is going well, but is it for real?
Yeah.
You need to know, you need to understand. So financial literacy.
Yeah.
Put some, and people don't like it, but it's okay. It's okay. It's the things that you don't like that usually are important. So do them first.
Yeah.
Look at your numbers, the beginning of the day, and then it's done. You can take out something else, another
So
task.
for everybody who hates gym, go to gym early in the morning, okay?
But that's what I do.
Oh, you see that?
That's what no excuse. Because the thing is that you're going to procrastinate. And there's a bunch of reasons why you should do something else.
Yeah.
So again, I do like Nike, just do it. You don't think, just do it. I read a book, Miracle Morning, from Al Herold. Amazing. When you read that book, Miracle Morning, it tells you that time in the morning, it's so important, and it dictates the rest of the day. So you need to really invest gratitude in the morning. You need to meditate, and it doesn't take a lot of time. But just when you start your day, don't take your phone when you start your. I see some people, they wake up. Yeah. They didn't have a chance to brush their teeth, and they're already on Instagram and looking at the news. The news are not great now. So that's how your mind is, that's what you're feeding your mind in the morning. Yeah. But you should be grateful. You should, the first thing that you should say is thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you because I'm alive, I'm doing this, and get energized. Yeah. And then you can go with the rest of the day.
Yeah. Well, I have to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Maud.
Thanks, Tom.
And I'm pretty sure that resonates with everybody here. You are an inspiration. You are definitely breaking barriers, and it's awesome to witness. And just even from the peripheral. And I wish you none but the best. But I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you
Yeah,
for having
thank you so
me.
much.
Thank you. Great conversation.
Thank you. I have like 20 questions for you, but we don't need to go
Girl,
there.
we could have like our
I
own
know,
show
I
and things like that, but no. But you
Thank
did
you.
great too.
Yeah,
It was
thank
wonderful
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Awesome. Yay. Round of applause for Maudeleine. Yay.
Really appreciate it. We like to be people who give flowers while you can receive the flowers and smell the flowers.
Yes.
So like Tamara said, you did an amazing job and we really appreciate you being here.
Yes. Thank you. Yay. Take care. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we good. I have chronic pain, y'all, so that's why Jade is doing her due diligence and checking in on me like she should. Okay, so that was awesome. Yes. Our next speaker is a powerhouse in the world of strategic communications and a dedicated advocate for community empowerment. With extensive experience providing high-level counsel to federal and provincial governments, as well as executive leadership across complex and high-profile portfolios. That was a lot of P's, yo. I have a list, so I'll tell you. Joanna has become a vital voice in shaping narratives and building bridges across communities. Her expertise in strategic communication and her ability to craft messages that resonate with diverse audiences have made her an invaluable leader in her field. Joanna's commitment to advocacy extends far beyond her professional role, especially supporting the mayor. She has been a tireless mentor for young Black girls, helping them navigate their own paths to leadership, and has served on the boards of organizations that champion the interests of English-speaking youth. You may also recognize her as a frequent commentator on CBC and other media platforms, where she shares her insights on issues affecting our communities. Today, Joanna will be sharing her journey, her approach to navigating professionalism in government and media, and her vision for amplifying the voices of Black women in leadership. Welcome, Joanna. Yay.
My God.
I got you on the intro, girl.
I was like, who are you talking about?
I know, I'm talking about you. So as similarly to with Mo, we can always start with your why, right? Because we always, when we read people's bios, there's so much accolades and accomplishments. Women are amazing, Black women are amazing, just saying. But what really motivated you to embark on this journey in media?
Oh my God. It's gonna sound, I don't think it's gonna sound cliche actually, because it was the first time that we saw that. But I watched Olivia Pope.
Okay,
And I was like,
go there.
No, seriously. I watched Olivia Pope and I was like, I want to be that woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anyone around me who was in media or who was in politics at all. My father, bless his soul, was that man who just encouraged his children to participate in debate, and he was the type to, on a good Sunday, start talking about Plato. Like, he was that type of person.
Yeah.
And I watched Olivia Pope and I said I wanted to be her, and my story came out of that. I wanted to serve. I wanted to be there for my community. I wanted to be that powerful woman on TV that I had never seen before. I wanted more of that, so that was my why.
And she became that. Okay, thank you. That's a good why too. Why you, why me? Okay. Can you tell us about your journey to becoming the lead press secretary to the mayor of Montreal? What inspired you to pursue that specific career in strategic communications?
My journey started door dashing and picking trash.
Oh,
that's where I
let's
started.
go there.
I actually went to a park at some point. I started as a volunteer in the Liberal Party.
Another volunteer.
Yeah,
See what's
you need to help people.
Yeah.
So I went out there and we were cleaning the park, and I spoke to my friend and I asked him, and I told him that I really wanted to go into politics and I just didn't know where to start. And I was talking to him and he was like, oh, I know a person named Charlotte. She works for Pierre Archange, she's looking for someone. So he made the call and that's where I started. And I was still door dashing at that point because I needed to pay for my studies. I also needed to help and support my mom. She's an incredible woman who deserves the world. So
As mothers
I wanted to be there for her. And at that point, I knew that I wanted to go to federal, and I applied to be a digital communication assistant for Minister Mary Ng. And this girl didn't know that she had to move to Ottawa to do that because I didn't know what that entailed. I decided to take the job with Pierre Arcan, and that was an amazing opportunity. And then the director of communication blew 6 months later. I'm studying here at Concordia. I'm in the library, making sure that I can pass that exam. And she calls me and she says, "What can I do to make you reconsider?" And I dropped on the floor and I said, "You don't have to do anything. I'm coming to Ottawa."
Yeah.
And she gave me a chance to finish my year of, I had a year in my bachelor left. So she gave me the job to start part-time. It was not part-time. It was full-time and finishing my bachelor. And then I moved to Ottawa, and I knew I wanted to be a press secretary. At the time, I had the opportunity to be on CBC as a panelist. It was an amazing, amazing opportunity. I was on the youth panel. That was really cool. We were talking current affairs. The girl who was not allowed to debate at the dinner table, because my father had a rule, you needed a bachelor to do that.
Ooh.
He was really, So I had an opportunity to do that on a big stage in Montreal, and wanted to be a press secretary, was a digital communication assistant, had a lot of fun doing that. That was my way to just get in the door, because sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to start where you, it's not necessarily going to be what you want to do, but if that gives you the opportunity to at least get in the room, you need to take that, because there's only a few of us there most of the time. And like Maud said, bring people after. But it was important for me to prove to myself that I could do that. So one day I called my sister and I told her that I wanted to quit my job and I wanted to apply to be a press secretary for Minister Blair. And my sister, I gave her the pitch that I was about to give in the interview, and she said, "I don't know why you called me, because you have your answer." And that's where the journey started. After press secretary for Bill Blair, I went on to be a press secretary for Minister Sajjan. Then I went on to be a press secretary for Mélanie Joly. Had a time of my life with that woman. I love her so much. And then I wanted to come back to Montreal. I wanted to come back home. I had left for Ottawa at 22 years old. I didn't feel like I knew my city, and I didn't want it to be a stranger. So I wanted to come back, and I had the opportunity to have, actually, it's so funny. It's the person who gave me the job is actually she was the deputy chief of staff for Mary Ng. That's where I started.
Okay.
And she's the one who actually messaged me on Instagram, and she was like, "I think you should come and work for us."
You know?
And that's how I got the job. So the importance of community and relations, it's really key. Just keep people around, and that's
That
it.
too, but also believing in yourself, because you knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah, believe in yourself, and sometimes don't listen to yourself, because I think on that path I also did sabotage myself a few times. I think that's a conversation that we can have.
Yeah, let's go there.
I knew I wanted to be a press secretary, and a few times I didn't apply for the job because I didn't think I was ready for it. And I've learned today that sometimes you have to do things scared, and you have to do things when you are not ready. So seek people who believe in you also. Seek people who are willing to give you that chance, so you don't feel like you're performing all the time. So,
Do things scared.
Do things
I hope
scared.
someone's getting all these quotes, right? Do things scared. No, I think that's really awesome. And for people who aren't aware of what a lead press secretary does, can you just walk us through a day in the life of you?
It's an intense job, but it's really fun if you are someone who seeks a job that in which no day looks the same. You wake up in the morning, you do a big scan of the news, you make sure that your boss is aware of anything that any question that could come from the media that day. You make sure that she's briefed on issues. You keep a really tight and professional and important relationship with journalists. Those people are not your friends. That's number one. Your worst day is their best day, so they're not your friends. But those are people that you need to keep on your side, and you need to make sure that they stay aware of what you do. You need to be there for your team. It's a lot of writing also, press releases. We went through the period of 100 days for the mayor, so it was announcements every day.
We saw the social media, man.
Well, we had to keep you informed.
We saw it.
We are on it, guys. But yeah, it's a lot of different issues, and journalists will call you and message you for comments, reactions. Sometimes you need to get your boss ready because the premier just resigned, and she needs to tell the people what she feels about that. So yeah, just making sure that you stay on top of the news, and it never stops.
A lot of fast-paced work.
A lot of fast-paced work.
And how do you navigate it? Because you mentioned before that in these spaces, not a lot of Black women, there's not a lot of Black female representation, right? So how do you navigate that space, being a Black woman, and how does that influence the way that you approach your work?
I think I'm still learning not to perform as much, because I think at first I felt that when you don't have people around you to show you how it's supposed to happen, you kind of decide to just go with what's safe, because you don't want to be the person that is too loud, the person who is too confident. I've heard that a lot, and I've developed kind of I kind of buck against that now. I try, so what if I'm too loud? So what if I'm big? So what if you don't like my tone when I told you about the work that you didn't do? I think it comes with a lot of, you need to be gentle with yourself. You need to make sure that, of course, you remain respectful and professional, but sometimes you need to learn that being yourself is what is needed in that room, and you need to give yourself the space to do that.
To be yourself, And I think that's really important, because I'm really big on not code switching in any space. I'm telling you guys, sorry. But I feel like, we've lived in a world where we're constantly trying to be small, right? But the world would never make room for us if we're small, right? We have to be our authentic self so that we teach people to make room for us. So I find it really awesome, and it resonates exactly with what you're saying. But initially you talked about having people around you who poured into you. Can we just talk about that a little? Where do you think you would have been if you didn't have the support that you had, whether it's from your family or people who opened doors for you?
Community is so important. The relationships that you will, and it's important to stay genuine within those relationships. Don't engage with people because you want something from them. I've actually learned that the best way to get people to do something for you is to help them first. Like, if you do something for them and if you are there to genuinely help, they will naturally turn around and say, hey, what can I do for you? And I think community is important. It makes me think of, because you said, where would I be without the community that I seeked? And the only thing that comes to my mind is, I wrote a piece at some point about homelessness, because that sort of misery and indignity really just gets me. And I remember seeing a person one day I was in my car, DoorDashing, waiting for that food that I had to pick up, $20 on DoorDash. I was so happy. And I saw a man and he was looking into the trash for food, and I remember thinking, where would I be if I didn't have an opportunity? And I think that's, sometimes we ask ourselves, what's the difference between us and them? And I remember writing in that article that the big difference is opportunity, and it's people caring. It's people being there for you.
Loving on
it's
you.
It's people pouring on you. It's people opening that space. It's people remembering that you matter too. And it's, and that's why I think community is important. People are important. You have to be a people. Like, you don't have to be a people person, but love people. I think that's just the key.
And I think that's sometimes what we see that's a little bit missing, even within our community, and how we would reach out to pull somebody else up, is that we've kind of lost that radical love. I think we need to get back to that first love so that we can continue to radically love on each other in our community, so that, you know, we keep that close-knit.
Absolutely. It's needed, and it's so fragile, right? I'm a huge meme person. I stay on social media.
You're one of
and
those friends who send like 500
Oh,
a day?
oh yeah, I post them actually.
Don't
I
have
love,
her as a WhatsApp contact.
Oh yeah, I love memes. And I saw a meme a couple of days ago, and the girl was saying, people want a village, but they don't want to be a villager.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's so cliche, but that's so true.
Yeah.
Because you need to be there, and we are such in a world of self-care and boundaries. It's important. But community means inconvenience also. It means showing up when it's not always the best time. Sometimes you're tired, and yes, take care of yourself, but make some space for others.
Yeah, and I like that. Because, you know, I see in something too that said, being in community doesn't mean that you're going to agree with people 100% of the time.
No.
But it's better to be in community with people that you agree with even 10% of the time versus everybody else who just has your worst interests at heart.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so I appreciate that. You know, so going back to your identity and how it shows up in work, you work for the government. I won't ask you any too, explicit questions, but
okay.
We know that we live, especially in a province that doesn't even acknowledge systemic racism, right?
Okay.
So being the lead press secretary, how do you navigate spaces where you see that you have your cultural identity, you're a Black woman, there might be something that you're hearing and seeing, and that they want to approach it in a way that does not really reflect on our community in the most positive of light. What type of impact does it have on you, and how have you, navigated those challenges?
I served in the Trudeau government, meaning that, and that government started with
Blackface.
blackface.
Just saying. We saw it. We don't forget.
I think one thing that I've learned is that, and it's such an interesting question for me because I was born and raised in Cameroon. So I often say that I only learned that I was a Black person when I actually came to Canada, because I didn't think of myself in those terms. Of course, I was aware of, racial, and anything that has to do with race. When you're a Black person, you will hear it wherever you live. Yeah. But I was defining myself more in terms of my nationality and my tribe, right? So when you come here and then you start to live your life within those lens, it's challenging because you constantly seek understanding in places sometimes where only time and education can give you that. But at the same time, I have learned that I think I've been fortunate actually to grow within spaces where people were always willing to admit that it happened, that it was the case, that it was wrong. And I think I've been fortunate to have around me people who were never afraid of saying this shouldn't happen. But I've also been in places sometimes where they wanted to put it under the rug, and you had to be the voice inside the room that said, that was crazy. We shouldn't do that. It shouldn't happen. And why am I the one being called to deal with this? Because sometimes, oftentimes, and especially when you work on the Hill, we have, whenever it's Black History Month, they often look at the Black person in the office to, I started bucking against that. You know, I was like, no, let's do it together. Because it's important to remember that in community, sometimes only time and education and voices being raised can do things. And unfortunately, sometimes that's all you have. But let's remember that we all need to do the work.
Yeah, what we're
and
doing it for.
And it can't just be the Black person in the room doing it for you.
Exactly. And you know what? I was happy that I was on partial medical leave during Black History Month, so work had to think of that on their own. But I understand what you're saying because, you know, it's still a duty. We hold our community on our back. As much as we want to navigate life just thinking like, I'm my own person, I do whatever I want, don't judge my community for how I might be a little ghetto ratchet. But at the same time, people do, right? So we always have to hold that weight, even if we don't want to, of our community on our back. How do you navigate holding that weight in spaces with predominantly non-Black people who still think that police brutality is okay and it's not really an issue, don't believe in racism? You know, we have schools that are you know, openly discriminatory against Black and marginalized youth, especially those with disabilities. How do you carry that weight in a system that has historically caused us harm?
It's exhausting. It's exhausting, but I am one of those, and sometimes people don't like when I say this, but I am one of those who choose to believe that we have made progress, and I am one of those who choose to believe that each day the little progress that we make matter, and I will choose to focus on that, and I really want to be clear. I will choose to focus on that. And it's important to give some energy to that. And sometimes I do not want to minimize the work that and the sacrifices that were done, and I think that's the reason why I choose to focus on that, because time is something that is long. Even white people have had years of destabilization. I'm a history person also, so when you look at the trajectory of countries, time is important, and things take time. Change takes time. And as long as people are fighting, as long as people are talking, as long as we are disagreeing, sometimes we will protest, sometimes it will go too far, sometimes we will come, we're human. And I choose humanity every time. It is messy, it is complex. We are not always on the same page, but we all live in the same world and nobody's disappearing, so let's just keep talking.
Yeah, I like that, Awesome. And you definitely have been choosing to put on for the community, even within the government and without, because you also have your mentorship. You are mentoring young Black girls, right? What inspired you to take on that mentorship role, and how do you prepare them for leadership roles in the fields that you have navigating, knowing that weight that you're gonna have to carry?
I just want to give a big shout out to Black Girl Scatter because it's actually a group that I was invited into.
That's why you look familiar.
It's actually a group that I was invited into because we realized that we all had something in common. We had not had any access really to books written by Black authors when we were in secondary school, or it wasn't a thing. And for me, there's something about seeing a character that looks like you, read about a story, and the girl has coily hair and she is not the ugly girl in the room and her hair is not just messy. Like she's wearing her afro because she likes it and it's not a political revolution. Just stories about us. I think because when you come into Canada and you realize that you're Black and you realize that you're the other and you realize that you are not always the cute girl in the room because you're not light skinned anyways and you don't have curly hair and you are still learning to love yourself, when you don't see that as pretty and on top of that you have a scoliosis and it's, I've spent so many years not liking myself that I just wanted to make sure that another little girl wouldn't go through that. So I figured that if I could help in any way to bring awareness to a project that I believed in, which was that young Black girls should have access to books written by Black authors because they need to see themselves. They should have access to those authors and they should talk to them and they should know why those stories are being written, because I want to make sure that they learn that they are beautiful, not just at home, but also through what's available out there. They need to learn that they are celebrated. And I just wanted to be a part of that. So that's kind of where it started. And the mentorship part of it comes from giving to them what I feel I didn't have access to. And again, just wanting to serve.
Servant leader. That's what we have to right now so far, servant leaders. That's awesome. You're just so awesome. I'm like in awe. You see me, I'm like trying to like
doing
move
my best,
focus.
girl. Just doing my best here.
But it's interesting that you mentioned that, like, especially here in Quebec, we don't really, in school system, when I went to a private school, I was learning more about Italians because it was an Italian private school than I've ever learned about, my community. And the racial discrimination that I faced was, I didn't know it was racial discrimination until I was able to find my voice. But for everybody who's interested, I don't know, for those who travel to Toronto, York University has the Harriet Tubman Institute, which they have a plethora of books that have been banned from Africa, from the United States, so many different countries in Africa. You'll find books written specifically by African and Black authors, philosophers. I strongly suggest people check that out. That's the Harriet Tubman Institute. But yeah, so we have a few minutes left, and thank you so much for that. That was really awesome.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You are a pinnacle in what you do, and it's such an honor to even sit beside you. But now it's open to the audience for those who might have anything that they would like to ask. If there's anything that you heard that resonated with you, feel free to chime in.
Hi, thank you so much. It's such a great conversation. I just, the story you told about the homeless man while you were door dashing sort of stuck in my mind, and something I struggle a little bit with. I work in a school board trying to work on policy to try to make a change and make difference in the classroom. And that's something, again, I struggle with a lot. And how do we bridge what we do in the workplace in these government spaces with the person that's living on the street or the student in the not just in the classroom, but in their home, and just sort of that, to me, that's community. And I think I just wanted to highlight that I think it's important that we find a way to bring it together, because the government leader is as important as the person that's living on the street, and that's what the government leader is actually really, that's who they're serving. So I think I'm always looking for ways that we can sort of close those loops, and I think it's important that you mentioned that.
And I would say support all the amazing community organizations doing a lot of great work out there. I think it's again, community. There is an entire ecosystem out there that is, thank God we have a mayor who cares about homelessness, because those organizations are often doing a lot with very little resources, and it's important to volunteer, make sure that you donate, make sure that if you are interested that you recommend them. So if you hear about a loan or a program, but I'm on the side of that, so but yeah, just supporting community and getting involved, it helps a lot.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. My name is Jean Paris. Joanna, I just want to tell you that I'm so overwhelmed to see youth, see youth at the point that you are at.
Yeah.
As a mother, I am moved. And I just want to say, we have gone places. The doors have been opened, and they will not be shut anymore.
Yes, preach.
But I also want to tell you that I also want to add that I am very happy to hear you put so much emphasis on community. I am from the old group. I'm 80 years old, so
You don't look it, okay?
I've been around.
Black does not crack.
I am. I've reached it.
Yeah.
But community was the foundation of people like myself existing in this city. So I really want to impress on the young people who are here. Get involved in your community. Volunteer.
Yeah.
That's where people get to see you and know your skills and recognize. Many of us who have succeeded in this city, irrespective of the language, succeeded because community saw something in us and pushed us into different areas. So I just want to add that to the conversation and encourage the young people to get involved in the community.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is the best part.
I know.
Hello, it's me again. So what is the biggest misconception that people have about your role as lead secretary?
That we control what the media says. I mean, I think that is. There is a lot of influence, but we do, and that's something that I'm in awe every time, because I come from Cameroon and free press is not really a thing. I think Canada has amazing institutions. I think that's something that we take for granted. It's something that we should be extremely proud and protective of. Journalists will tell me to shut up any day, and they will tell me that I'm wrong any day. So there is no control there. It's a lot of influence, and you need to be a good talker and make sure that you get your point across. And if you guys agree, you guys agree. But if you disagree, then it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Joanna Kanga, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And Tamara, you may take it
Yes,
away.
thank you. I hope everyone's been enjoying the conversations. I definitely have. Such powerful women in the room. And I just encourage everybody, you don't need a fancy title to be powerful, right? There's so many people who are making great strides in our community, and they don't necessarily have a title, but they're doing great things, and they too deserve their flowers. So our final speaker is a true pioneer, a cultural advocate, and a globally recognized leader in psychology. It is a privilege to introduce a renowned psychologist, professor, and researcher whose groundbreaking work in cultural psychology has transformed the way we understand mental health and diversity. As an associate professor in the Division of Psychiatry at McGill University and a researcher at the Lady Davis Institute at the Jewish General Hospital, Dr. Lashley's expertise lies at the intersection of culture, mental health, and security. She was the first Black Associate Dean at John Abbott College and has received numerous accolades, including being named one of Concordia University's 50 most distinguished scholars, and being, yay! And she's Bayesian. She's also been appointed to the Order of Canada since 2024. Dr. Lashley's contributions extend far beyond academia. She has served as the scientific chair of the First Line Psychosocial Science Committee of the Clinical Ethics Committee in Montreal and is a senior fellow of the Institute of Geopsychiatry. Additionally, she serves as Barbados honorary consul to Montreal, where she continues to foster cross-cultural connections and diplomacy. Today, Dr. Lashley will share her incredible journey, her insights on the mental health needs of Black women, and her vision for a more inclusive and equitable future in academia and beyond. Join me in welcoming Dr. Lashley. A grand entrance for a queen. At first I didn't know where you were. I was like, where is she? She had to do the long entrance. She wanted to do the long walk, you know? Rightfully so. Thank you so Thank you. This is an honor to sit. This is the first time I've ever sat this close to you. Let me come a little closer.
My underwear on at a time.
Yeah. And I like the humility, always so humble. So Dr. Lashley, you've had an incredible journey as a psychologist, professor, and cultural advocate. What has been your why? And what inspired you to focus on cultural psychology at its intersections with mental health and security?
Well, to answer that, you have to go back to, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. To answer that, you have to go back to who I was. Jean, who's like my sister, just reminded people that my first occupation was actually, I was an oceanographer. And I was an oceanographer in the Canadian Navy. And when I was in the Canadian Navy, I was the only Black woman, I was the only Black officer there. And the things to which I was subjected, those things were very difficult with which to cope. And they certainly engendered a certain amount of mental pain. And so when I left the Navy, I just couldn't be there anymore for my own self-worth, my own self-esteem. When I left there, I decided that it was important to try to understand how people could do the things they do. And one way to do that, of course, was to understand the concept of mental health and mental illness. And having been in the Navy, I did a lot of stuff in security. I do a lot of stuff with the police now, as a matter of fact. And I was actually Canada's first, I was the chair of the cross-cultural roundtable on national security for Canada. And so I decided to pull all those things together. And so the final response to your question is, how did I amalgamate those three? Was I had the personal experience of the mental stress which I engendered within the Canadian Armed Forces. And as I said, that was important. But I also had a security background. And then after 9/11, I realized that people were assuming that because people came from a specific background, a specific ethnic background, that they were automatically prone to terrorism and to security violations. And being a Black person, I understood what that was like, and nobody was trying to understand if people were in fact doing this. They weren't, by the way, the data does not support that. But if they were doing that, what was propelling them?
Yeah.
And so I decided to look at that intersection to try to help the government and say, look, some of these decisions you're making, it's not right, and here's the evidence. So that's the long answer to your question.
Yeah, long and sweet, long, short, and sweet. So you talked about your early career as an oceanographer and your experiences of, racism and discrimination. Where have you seen, how has the landscape changed to where we are today?
Oh, I was so glad you asked that question, and I thank you for what you said earlier. You're absolutely right. Things have changed, and we must not forget that. When I was going to school in Florida, for example, I remember, as I said, I was the only Black person. I was there with the Canadian Armed Forces. I was the only Black person. And when the government sent us down there to study, the Canadians, it never occurred to them to say to the Americans, one of the people we're sending down there to study with you is Black. And so when I got there, they were absolutely aghast.
Yeah.
And one of the things, we ended up in Key West. That's where we're going to Key West Sonar School. But we had to stop in Miami first. And we stayed in Miami and at a hotel called the Sands Hotel, very ritzy hotel. But they put us out. But they put me out because they said, well, we don't want any Black people. They weren't that polite about the word. But we don't want any Black people staying here. And it was a very interesting thing because in telling me to leave, my colleagues were then left, my white Canadian colleagues were then left with the situation of, do we stay or do we go with her? What do we do? And so they were called upon to look within themselves and see what they were going to do. And so, yes, they left, and I remember they put us in this hotel called Fort Knox, and it was a hotel that was rented by the minute. And so there were all there was mold growing on the wall and all those kinds of things because they couldn't have me, the Black woman, who was top of my class.
Yeah.
I'd never gotten less than 98% in anything. But there we were.
Yeah.
So that's a time when race played a big role. But as I said, I look at that, and that was then. I look at now, and it's moved on. We must never forget that. We tend to keep saying, oh, nothing's changed. That is not true, because that is an insult to all the people who've sweat, who've died, who've given of their best of their lives to get us where we are today. And we must never forget that.
Yeah. See, I nearly broke this. What you're saying is really powerful because we, as the generations to come, we haven't experienced the lived experience of those before us. We hear stories, we hear images, but we don't have the same affinity to the real life experiences. But what we have experienced now is we're more integrated, right? So there's also a different components than those who walked before us with the exclusion and isolation and segregation. We're integrated, but it's, the racism and discrimination at that time, it's more covert, right? How does that show up in the way that you approach mental health care?
One of the problems in mental health care is that we, as mental health practitioners, psychiatrists, psychologists, we have, first of all, I'm going to say something which you might find shocking, but we're all white. And the reason someone said,
I was like, strip my melanin,
someone
maybe.
said, say what now? And the reason I say that is because we have all been trained in whiteness. And so what we teach is what we have been taught. And we have been taught things through the lens of whiteness. And so it is incumbent upon us to do the work to really question everything that we've been taught and everything that we pass on. And so because of that, what was your question again?
Well, in terms of it being more covert, right?
Yeah, it being more covert, in terms of that, we are constantly fighting that covertness, which people exercise even though they don't know they're exercising it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so it is incumbent upon us to do some of the teaching. It is incumbent upon us to hold the door open for those who are following us and help them to question everything. I tell my students, it doesn't matter that I tell you, I want you to question it. I want you to question me, so that when you tell me A, I know that you understand A. You're not just regurgitating an A that I gave you. So that covertness, it's done when it's done deliberately, it's done often by denial. That can't possibly be so. Or I have a black friend and she's never said this is the way it is.
Or biracial children.
Biracial children who can only be black. And they can only be black, and that is our fault also, because we have been so restrained and constrained in those things which affect our lives that we hold on quite tenaciously to anything that we think makes us better. And I understand that, and that's not a bad thing, but it also means that those children who are mixed are forced into an avenue where they can only entertain one part of their being. And that is from white folk and black folk. And my daughter, for example, also has been known to say to people, well, am I supposed to say that my father doesn't exist? I mean, I carry both sets of genes, and we have got to let go as black people. We've got to allow our children to experience who they are in their entirety.
Yeah, I like that. So powerful. You have created such an amazing career for yourself.
Thank you.
Through servitude, through caring for your
Not
community.
servitude, God no, not servitude.
Well, I mean,
service,
yes.
not servitude.
I say servitude in a way that you are caring for others, right? Whether it's their mental health. Just at the start of it, you didn't even want to do a check-in with us because you were caring for a student, right?
Yes.
You took the time away from our check-in because you saw a need and you wanted to fill and pour into that person. But we know that academia, like you said, white spaces, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I see, like, yes, now, especially Concordia, they're trying to do more of a change. That's why, they're hiring people that look of diversity. But how was it navigating those spaces in academia as a black professor?
I have to tell you, it hasn't always been easy, but I take up a lot of space.
That's a common theme right now.
I take up a lot of space, and I'm not afraid to take that space. But I am very cognizant of the fact that I'm not taking that space just for me. That space actually means nothing to me. And the reason I say it means nothing to me is because I have less time to live than I've lived. I mean, that's a fact. Yeah. If you've hit 50, stop fooling yourselves, guys. Stop fooling yourself. You're on the other side of the hill, okay? So I have less time to live than I've lived. So I know that whatever I do, I'm carrying you.
Yeah.
I'm carrying my daughter. I'm carrying every young child, and especially black children, those who are not even born yet. And so I need to keep that door open. So I take that space. I don't need the space, but you do.
Yeah.
You do. And so I open that door as wide as I can. So many I'm not a particularly good person. I don't want you to think I'm a good person. I'm not.
Maybe good with a small G.
Yeah, I'm not a particularly good person. I'm just a person. But I don't want my daughter to go through what I've gone through. I don't want you to go through what I've gone through. But I specifically don't want my daughter to do that. I mean, if she does that, if she has to go through what I went through, she may get angry enough to hit you. And I don't want her to get angry enough to hit you. So I keep that door open. It's got nothing to do with me. But I'm not a good person. I'm looking out for my kid.
Yeah, yeah. And the generations to come.
Yeah, but especially my kid.
Yes. Yeah. Highlight that, right? So as the Barbados honorary consul, it's clear that you hold your heritage and your culture very highly, right? How has your cultural identity influenced your approach to leadership, whether in clinical practice or advocacy?
Oh, my goodness gracious. My culture is, now you're going to make me cry. Being a Barbadian is extraordinarily important to me. I never knew I was Black until I came here. I had no idea what that was. And I sure as hell didn't know. I'm going to say the word, folks. Prepare yourselves.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, you ready?
Yes.
I never knew I was a nigger until I came here.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant. And Barbados, to me, has always been my safe space. Whether I'm physically there, I mentally go there all the time.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm
at
always
Brown's
there.
Beach right now.
You know? And I revert to my vernacular. I revert to the language of Barbados. One of my best friends is here, Joan, and I talk with her every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. And in the English cabinet inside there when we talk.
Yeah.
we doing we thing.
Yeah.
But that's important to me. My navel string, as we say in Barbados, is buried in Barbados. But I know where mine is.
Yeah.
It's underneath my great-grandmother's bedroom window.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me because that grounds me.
Yeah, true.
That grounds me.
Yeah.
So it plays a role in who I am. It plays a role in the way I do leadership because I was raised by my grandmother and my great aunt, and the values that they instilled in me, the caring, the saying good morning when you meet someone on the street, the going down the road and asking to borrow somebody's baking pan or pot when you didn't need it, but it was a way to give them something without making them lose face.
Yeah.
So my aunt would say, go and tell Mrs. So-and-so that I need to borrow her pot.
Yeah.
And so that we could cook in that pot. We didn't eat the food out of the pot, but it was so because you can't give back an empty pot, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so this was a way that this lady got something and nobody lost face. So those things guide me, and they're important to me.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And what would you say to encourage some of us who are of mixed heritage, for instance?
Yeah.
Because, for instance, my mother and that whole side, matrilineal side, comes from Barbados.
Yeah.
My father from Jamaica, right? And what I've heard often with the youth groups that I've worked with is they often go through periods where they choose which identity to associate with, and they said that also comes with a toll.
It does.
So how would you support a client with doing cultural psychology? How would you support a client, a Black woman with diverse identities in terms of their mental health care as well?
Well, the first thing to realize is that we all have diverse identities. It's a fallacy to assume that we do not.
Yeah.
Even if both of your parents came from Jamaica or or from Barbados, you still carry multiple identities because you brought together two different families with different belief systems, maybe even with different ways of making a dumpling.
Yeah, that's true.
No, that dumpling got flour. I ain't eating that. It's got to have cornmeal in it, or I don't want that. And that's who puts cassava in that? So you're bringing all that together. So that's the first thing, and that which means we can reduce some of the distance if we recognize that. We're all children of intersectionality. And that's another thing. So I try to work on those understandings first, that there are artificial divisions which we have created. There's an artificial division which exists apparently between Barbadians and Jamaicans, or you a Bajan, you a Jaja, and you just eat that and you don't eat that, and I be better than you and you better than she. That is a fallacy that but the problem is we passed it on. We haven't just kept it as a joke between us, but at the end of the day, there's something that holds us all together, and that is our Blackness. That is our Africanness. Because I say to my Haitian friends, don't get too caught up in someone saying, oh, you belong here because you speak French, and you don't belong here because you speak English. I said, the only reason I speak English is that's where my boat stopped. And the only reason you speak French is because that's where your boat stopped. The other thing is, we've all got to understand that I speak English because whoever the colonial person was, because they understand English, because they speak English. And you speak French because whoever that was for you, because they understand French and they understand. But you and I, we have no idea what the hell it is we speak. We don't know because it was taken. So if we can bring about those things to reduce that distance, if we look at those realities, it makes it easier.
That's true. And what comes up a lot with like a lot of youth and young Black women, like we've been hearing it with the panelists beforehand, is the need to build up their identity, to feel confident. What would you say for those who are struggling, going through that identity crisis, as you mentioned, not being connected to your roots is a big thing, and it has a play on your mental health, even how you show up in the workplace. So where does cultural psychology come into play in that?
What we do in cultural psychology and geopsychiatry is we look at the geopolitical aspects also. We don't confine ourselves to who's got what culture. We look at it, you look at something like climate change, for example, we look at it through a geopolitical lens, and same thing as in cultural psychiatry and cultural psychology. Again, if we can get people to realize that we share 99.97% of all of our genes. We share that genes, but this is plastic, we don't share anything with that. But we share that gene with plants. We share that gene with animals. We share those genes with this speech. We are not special. And that's very difficult for people to accept. We're not special. We all come from the same stardust. And if we can start from that and understand that we share this space together, that we own this space, and that we cannot survive without each other. We cannot do it. Because, someone was talking about resilience earlier. I think it was Allison was talking to me about resilience.
I'm biased towards that word.
Well, good. But because what people mean when they're talking about resilience is you can put up with things. That's not resilience. That's coping. There's a different resilience only occurs when you've got other people there to support you. That's the only way you get resilience, because it means that when things happen, I'm there for you and you're there for me, and we rise up together and we work together and we get it done. Otherwise, we're coping. When you're coping alone. But so we should not conflate resilience with coping. So when you tell me you're struggling, especially a mixed person, you're struggling with your identity, I have to say to you, it's like saying you're a half-sister. We don't know what the hell that means. And people keep telling me my sister is my half-sister, and I'm saying, which half is my sister? But it's the same thing. So if we can understand that we need each other, I am you, you are me, and together we do it, then we can reduce a lot of it.
Yeah, awesome. And that resonates a little bit with some Afrocentric principles.
Yes, Ubuntu. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of people talk about, as Black people, how can we reach a place where we are holding on to these principles and really developing them in our work?
Those principles are ours by right. They're ours by right. We have lost touch with those principles. We have traveled far. And I'm not just talking about traveling far from the Caribbean, but we've traveled far. We've traveled far in terms of, our tribal lands, in terms of our clanship, in terms of our language, our religion. We've traveled far. And in that traveling, we've lost some of who we are because we didn't have that group of resilience around us. We were left to cope. We weren't being resilient. And because what we need to do is reach out to each other and regain it. We need to remember who we were. A lot of the things that we were taught as children, we became ashamed of them once we came here. Because you're too young. You don't know.
Oh, I'm young? Thank you.
You're too. But Jean and Joan, you remember when we were children and our grandparents would put things in paper bags and they would hold on to the paper bag and we went to the store in the paper bag. And when we came here, we said, I want a plastic bag. I want to be like the white folk, right? I remember my aunt destroying all our mahogany furniture because we had to have melamine, to show that we had a few cents. But now we're looking for paper bags because we're thinking about ecology and we're thinking about holding on to things. We need to get back to that because we had it. We had it. It was there. So we had that concept of I am you, you are me. My aunt said, go and borrow the pot so that I don't make somebody lose face, but I can give them something. So if we have to value what is ours. We have to value our locks. We have to value our hair. We have to value our skin. We know, why are we continuing to put these creams on our skin that we know is not good for us? Let's get the ones that we know we need. We need the cocoa butter. We need the shea butter. The other stuff is, and the Vaseline. If anything, it's
the petroleum jelly.
It's harming our skin, but we keep doing it, and we keep bleaching our skins. And then we wonder why we have issues with our skin, why we end up spending so much money at the dermatologist, because we've damaged this beautiful skin that was given to us. It doesn't mean that white skin is bad. It means it's not our skin. Just like white people are damaging their skins by sitting on the sun lamps or being out in the sun too long without protection. It's okay. So let's get back to who we are. Let's stop being ashamed of it. Let's embrace it.
Yes. I like that. Okay, so we have one last question before I open the floor to the audience. What legacy do you hope to leave behind in your work, especially for young Black women?
The legacy I hope to leave behind is that the door is open. As I said, it's not about me. I don't need anything. I'm on the other side of the river. But I would like to think that when I come to the end of my days, and if any of you show up for the party, because I don't want anybody wearing black or any of that garbage, but if any of you show up for the party, that you will say something like, she gave me hope. I want to leave hope because we're not good at giving people hope. And I mean, all of us, the teachers, the physicians, all of us, we're not good. We're terrible at giving young people hope. When you go to school, and as you said, there's not a book about you in school. There is nothing that tells you that your people have achieved, that, that, and you open a thing, and people accept when you say, this person did this, and they're white. But when someone said, well, that person's really black, because we're not accustomed to hearing that, we go running and looking it up. We can't take it for granted. So I hope my legacy will be that when someone says that person was black, that you don't have to go looking at. And I'll give you a quick example. I met someone with their parent 2 years ago in a shopping center. And the person said to that parent, this is Dr. Lashley. And the parent said, oh my God, I didn't think Dr. Lashley could be black. And the person kept saying that, you're black. I didn't expect you to be black. If I can leave a legacy where that's no longer true.
Yeah.
I'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, awesome. Round of applause for Dr. Lashley. Yeah. Such an honor. I know there's questions from the audience for sure, so.
Yes, Cynthia.
You have poured into so many of us over the years. So my question is, who do you look to pour into you?
That's an excellent question. The thing is, things multiply. The more you give, the more you get. It is not a finite vat. It's a finite vat if you don't share it. But when you share it, you just gave me something. You said you've poured into us. Mm-hmm. Now, that gives me something. That tells me you've done something somewhere. You've done something correctly. But I have friends. My mom's gone. I miss her terribly. My husband's gone, as you know, I miss him terribly. But I have friends, and I have people who care about me, that I have friends that I can call up and I can say, I need to talk. And that's important, to have someone that you can just be yourself with. No airs, you don't have to pretend anything. You can just call up and say, I need to talk. And the person just says, I'm here. So that's where I get a lot of my strength. But thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Jean.
I want to tell you before you go.
Well, I ain't going before you. When I going, you come in with me.
So I want to tell you before you go.
Yes, dear.
When I show up for your party, I will be saying, she never bent over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For those who don't understand the language, I mean, she did not bend to kiss.
Yeah. Nobody behind.
Any derrieres.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
She never did. But I want to ask you, my sister.
Yes, my dear.
How do you encourage this generation to be bold?
Oh, thank you so much for asking that question. That's a really important question. I'm going to differ in some of the stuff that was said a little bit earlier, not to contradict you, but to add to it. Being bold means taking your space. It means knowing that you have a space and claiming it. Always act in your own best interest. Always ask yourself, how is this playing out for me? Because it's okay to stand up and say, this is not acceptable. I will not go down this road, not good. But remember not to slam the door shut behind you when you walk out. Because you never know you may need a reference. You may need a reference. So you always have to ask yourself, is this in my best interest? And not from a position, as Jean said, of bending over, but internalizing, this is a strong place for me to go. You think I'm playing you, baby. You know, I may need a reference. So I'm not going to tell you which hole you came out of, even though I might think about that. But I'm not going to tell you that, because I may need that reference. Because no matter where you go, they're going to ask you, where did you work before?
Yeah.
The other thing I would tell you about giving people hope, Jean, is to say, regardless of the job you're doing, do it well. Do it to the best of your ability. If you're working at McDonald's, if you're, doing what I do it to the best of your ability. Give good customer service. And customer service doesn't mean you're spraying coffee. I try my best to give good customer students to my students. They are my customers. So do the best you can, because they're carrying you when they leave.
Yeah.
And always remember, is this in my best interest? Always remember that.
Thank you. One more question.
Hi, Dr. Lashley.
Hello.
You saved the best for last.
No.
Hi, Sabby.
Oh my gosh. I'd just like to say, first, before I ask my question, Dr. Lashley is one of my mentors. I was not on the path to a PhD, and she was one of the people that said, you could do it. So I think I was just beginning my master's when I started working with her, and she's always been an inspiration for me. She's always told me, stop calling me Dr. Lashley. But when you grow up in a certain culture, you have to give people respect and call them by their name, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Dr. Lashley.
Thank you, Sabby.
But I had a question for you.
I can't wait to call you a doctor, by the way.
I know, we all can.
Don't forget.
2 more years, 2 more
Don't
years.
forget. I'm on
God
the other
willing,
side
God
of the water,
willing.
so get her done so I can do it.
I had a question about the phrase Black excellence.
Yes.
Once upon a time, everything would hashtag Black excellence, but then I heard there was a negative connotation to it. I'd like to know from your perspective of mental health and whatnot, what's your take on that phrase and what it means? And is it something we should be embracing or taking it with a grain of salt?
Well, I think in the first instance, as we start off, we needed to have Black excellence because we were told we had none. But now as we progress, I would like to get rid of Black excellence and just have excellence.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck is Black excellence? It sounds like somehow it's different. It's not as good as the other excellence, but you've got some excellence, but it's kind of Black. I don't know what that means. So I would like to see us get rid of Black excellence. I also would like to see us get rid of Black History Month in its current iteration. I think we need Black History Month to highlight what is and what has been, but not as, oh, it's Black History Month, let me see me like them. No, they're not. The end of the month, we go back to where we did. So I would like that gone, but Black excellence for me makes no sense. I think we've outgrown it. And it's okay when we outgrow something to admit that we've outgrown it and move on. Outgrowing Black excellence, I see as progression. I am not Black excellent. And I'm going to tell you right, yeah, I'm excellent. I'm really good at what I do. I'm not going to deny that. I'm really, really, really good at what I do. Okay. So, and you all are too. So don't clap for me, clap for yourself. Give yourself a clap. You're good at what you do, and I'm good at what I do, but I'm not Black excellence. I am bloody excellent at what I do, and I want that recognized, and I want that for you. So don't do that to yourselves. Don't limit yourselves.
Thank you. Dr. Lashley, everybody. It was an honor. Thank you. Yeah, you're awesome. I can get up? Yes, you can. I think I could get up too, right? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to sit right.
Oh, I don't want to be in the background. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tamara, I get to real life give you flowers. Thank you. So a big thank you to Tamara for moderating and to all of our esteemed panel guests for what they've shared with us. We really appreciate it. I'd love to welcome some very special people to join me up front here. Everything that you see here, the thought behind this event, the work that goes into keeping Barbados House, Black Girl Magic, Concordia running. Like Dr. Lashley said, we're really good at what we do. And we can say that and we can stand on it. So I'd love to welcome Cynthia, Sherry, please join me here. Who am I missing? Please tell me. James, yes, thank you. And oh, you're gonna stand there, okay.
Following the rules. Okay. I'm gonna ask everybody that's part of Black Girl Magic Canada as well as Barbados House Montreal to come up here as well, please. Because it's not just the three of us that did this. There's a whole bunch of other people that are involved. Please come up. Maria, Maggie, Karen,
Erica,
Rodney, Erica, Tyra, Leah, Kira. Wow, see? This is what makes this happen, okay? It's a big machine and it's a big village. Kira, you're first with your speech. Remember you said you had something to say?
I thought you were going to say something.
You can start first. You have a nice speech.
Oh, squeeze. We're squeezing.
We're gonna take a
We're
picture.
squeezing. Okay, I got thrown into the mic, so I will try to keep this short. So, how did you enjoy this afternoon? Great. So today we witnessed leadership at every level: psychology, entrepreneurship, government, advocacy, and community. This is what the impact looks like, and this is what excellence looks like. For International Women's Day, it's not just about flowers and hashtags as you saw. It's about a movement. It's about momentum, and it's about making sure that the next generation walks into rooms that are claimed. So we not just honor our legacy, we continue to build it. So keep mentoring for those of you who are mentoring young people and people that you can have the opportunity to mentor. Smash those doors, break those ceilings. And make sure that when you're showing up, you show up boldly and unapologetically. So thank you once again, and happy International Women's Day.
So I just want to thank James for, this is James from Concordia,
The Black Perspectives
the
Office
Black
in
Perspectives
Montreal.
Office, okay, for allowing us and inviting us and facilitating this wonderful event. Why am I bending down? Because I'm so tall. I also want to thank all of you for contributing. It's fantastic that you guys made it out on, I don't know, this is usually a work day for most people, so I'm really happy that you all came. Tamara, thank you so much. Tamara, you were fantastic. Panelists, you guys were fantastic. Dr. Lashley, you were all amazing, and I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate you all here. We're going to take a group photo because it's very important that, you know, we remember this day. So I would like the panelists as well as Tamara to come up as well, please. And then we have a commission to do, and then y'all can leave. You can all go home because I think your bums are hurting now at this point. So we're going to take a group picture. Dr. Lashley?
Where's Dr. Lashley?
Okay, yeah, maybe we should sit.
Yeah, she had to leave.
Do I sit or stand?
I think you should sit.
Sit? No?
They should sit and then we.
I don't know. She's a professional. She'll let us know.
Okay.
I guess. Oh, good. Her flowers. Okay. Oh, yes. Dr. Lashley, you want to sit down? Okay. We also have Mr. Brian Smith that would like to make he has a few words to make, as well as we have to take that picture of.
We should bring it.
So, thank you, mesdames et messieurs, everybody for coming out this afternoon. It's really impressive, the fourth space people. Thank you very much. I think one of the main things here, it shows that when you have a university institution, you have the community, and you come together, like wonderful things could happen. So once again, thank you very much, fourth space, and Black Girl Magic. You keep on making that Black Girl Magic. You know, but what I would like to say right now, last Saturday, I had a talent show, or not the organization, Carrefour Jeunesse, we had a talent show. And with that, we were able to commission 2 young, dynamic twins who are wonderful painters, and was able to commission them to put together this beautiful artwork. And I said to myself, this is beautiful. And I spoke with Shari, and I said, Shari, I'd like to donate it to Black Girl Magic. But then I took another look at it and I said, I want to keep it. You know, but I think it's an inspirational piece. I would like for them just to say the two twins to come up here and say briefly what it is. And I hope that it'll be a piece that will inspire other women for future generations. So here they are. It's Tati Designs, but they'll introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my name is Tiana Carby.
And I'm Tasia Carby.
And together we are Tati Designs. So for our painting, we decided to take inspiration from everyone in Montreal. So we decided to pay homage to the environment. Everybody knows we have our spiral staircases. We're very bike friendly.
Our bagels.
Exactly. So we wanted
green spaces.
Basically. So we want to show different people, different ages interacting.
And just being one community.
Exactly. So here's our painting.
You guys can take
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you so much. And this is what Black Girl Magic looks like. Okay, right here. This is Black Girl Magic.
Thank you so
so
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Thank you
so much.
Thanks. Okay, so on that note, I think we're going to wrap this up. Right?
Yes, Shari, so you could wrap it up, and people come up and take a quick look at the photo, at the painting as well. Very inspirational.
Thank you so much, everybody. Jade, were you in the pictures? I hope you were in the pictures. Okay. Cynthia? So guys, you know, Cynthia and I have been friends for a very long time, and this was a really amazing experience to be able to do something to collaborate like this, as well with James, with Concordia University. We really appreciate you guys. You guys came and you knocked it out of the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You guys were fantastic, okay? So, what did I say something? I'm learning. So thank you so much, guys. I hope that there's some cookies, I think there's still tea, maybe some hot water that's still available. Please, you know, make yourself at home. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to everyone who joined us in person for this event. Thank you to our panelists, to Barbados House Montreal, and to Black Girl Magic Canada. We're going to go ahead, close up the Zoom and the live stream now, but just a quick reminder that this is already available on the YouTube channel if you wish to revisit or share it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful week.